We want to bring you up to date now on the breaking news that we've been following all morning. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Dia Riley.
And I'm Dan Schaefer. There is a huge nationwide impact from the death of Yankees owner George Steinbrenner. He's being remembered as a giant of the industry and of the community.
Nowhere is that more evident, perhaps, than at the Yankees training facility here in Tampa. We want to check in now with Don Germais. He is at the Steinbrenner home and has more on that side of the story. Don?
Good afternoon, Dia. The team made the official announcement at about 10 o'clock this morning that 80-year-old George Steinbrenner had passed away. He suffered a heart attack here at the family home about 11 o'clock last night and was rushed to St. Joseph's Hospital. He died sometime this morning. George Steinbrenner, as everybody I'm sure is aware, owned the New York Yankees. He bought the team in 1973 and was the longest-running owner of a Major League Baseball franchise in America. Very, very well loved in this community. He was a philanthropist, always giving, and people all seem to have a story they remember about this great man. Hillsborough County Commissioner Jim Norman remembers meeting him while working for the Salvation Army way back in 1992, and this was just after Hurricane Andrew hit and everyone was trying to rush relief supplies down to South Florida.
I actually was there when he showed up with a fleet of trucks to drive down to save the people of Andrew. He saw the Salvation Army trucks where he felt inadequate, didn't have air conditioning. He showed up to be the lead driver to go down and do what he could to save the lives of those people down there. To what I've seen personally here, what he's done for our community. We owe a lot to George Steinbrenner. He will always be remembered. He was kind of a larger-than-life personality, and on a personal basis, I got to know him and always enjoyed being around him, and I always really respected the way he gave and gave and gave.
And if you look at that little flag right there planted right in front of the Steinbrenner home, somebody dropped by just about noon today to put that in front of the home. We asked why. He said his name was Brian, and all I would say is, Mr. Steinbrenner was so good to me and so good to my wife, I had to do something. That's the first we've seen of that here, but I'm sure there are other people remembering this great man all over the city of Tampa right now. Our Carson Chambers is at the Yankees training facility on Hines. Carson?
Well, Don, we're sort of in the shadow here of Steinbrenner Field. You said it, at the Yankees training facility off North Himes Avenue. And just a little bit earlier today, we watched a staff member come out, my photographer did, and he came out and he lowered the flags here, 3 of them, the American flag included, to half staff. And then just over to the left, you can see right up in front here, we believe this is George M. Steinbrenner's parking spot, labeled GMS right there on the concrete. It's been coned off out of respect for the guy that everyone knew as the boss. Now, the official Yankees website was updated about 9:50 this morning. That official statement said that the team's principal owner and chairperson since 1973, Mr. Steinbrenner, passed away just this morning, reportedly suffering a massive heart attack. Steinbrenner was just here at this facility. He was celebrating his birthday in early July. He celebrated his birthday a couple of days later on July 4th. He was here for a couple hours meeting with his staff. He had just turned 80 years old. Now, because I work right up the street, I drive past this facility all the time, and you see fans, you see international media at this training facility lined up for autographs. People stop by here to get a look at A-Rod or even Derek Jeter. But today we expect those fans to be showing up for Mr. Steinbrenner. And of course, he was known not only for baseball, but for his philanthropy. I'm sure that we'll be talking about that as the day progresses. Live at the Yankees training facility, I'm Carson Chambers, ABC Action News. Back to you.
Thank you, Carson. And actually, we're going to tell you about his his generosity coming up right now. One of the many charities George Steinbrenner was involved in helps the families of law enforcement officers killed on the job. The Gold Shield Foundation makes sure that all children of fallen officers have their entire college paid for, from tuition to books. Joe Voskerichian manages the foundation and is a longtime friend of Steinbrenner's. He says Steinbrenner started the organization in 1981 after reading that 2 Tampa firefighters and a police officer were killed in the line of duty.
He was concerned as to who was taking care of these families in their time of need, and that's what started the whole ball rolling to put the foundation together.
Unfortunately, the Gold Shield Foundation was called into service 2 weeks ago when Tampa police officers David Curtis and Jeffrey Kokab were shot and killed. Curtis left behind 4 young boys. Kokab's wife was 9 months pregnant at the time. And just to recap this breaking story here, legendary Yankees owner George Steinbrenner died this morning. Reports are that he had a massive heart attack at his home. Steinbrenner was best known for his role with the Yankees, but he was also a legend here in the Bay Area where he lived and was a champion for the community.
Many of you have expressed your thoughts and condolences for Steinbrenner and the family on our Facebook page.
William writes, a sad day for baseball, no matter how you feel about the Yankees. And Mary writes, my deep condolences to the family. I'm sure everyone in Tampa Bay knows how many awesome things George Steinbrenner did for our community.
Scott posted this message, so sad. He really went out of his way to contribute to the Tampa Bay area. A sad day for baseball today. And Diana says, enjoying a great baseball game always lifts the spirit. George Steinbrenner was the icon associated with those happy times. It is a great loss. You can continue to leave condolences and comments about George Steinbrenner on our Facebook page. You can also read the reaction coming in from Major League Baseball and the community on our website, abcactionnews.com.